Hi guys, NoLay4 here. Welcome to the first BFBBHDR devlog. I'm going to be talking about what progress has been made, what the project is, and I'm hoping to make more videos like this in the future. Starting off, you'll notice that every level is going to have its own time of day to make it seem like time is progressing. So JFO1 takes place at a sunrise. You'll notice that Squidward here has new animations, completely original, made by our new animators. His model is new. It's not complete, it's kind of temporary, we need to work with it. But his texture is, oh, well, you saw that. His texture is permanent. So we have a nice custom-made HD texture for him. It's very, very, very beautiful looking. You'll notice that Tikis don't look at me or function in this video because there is a Tiki Bug right now. It's not fixed yet, and it causes the game to run at 10 frames per second. And I don't think that is reasonable for a video. So, you know, I had to disable them for now. But believe me, they do look at the player, and they are breakable. They do have a destruction sort of effect, but it isn't complete yet. I was working with it, it's not done. Yeah, but major graphics overhaul as the game has had a lot of effects redone, a lot of the coloring redone. It looks a lot less blindingly bright. Yeah. Just, it's very nice. Squidward doesn't have any interaction yet, but he exists. So, that's a thing. Oh man, his model is so beautiful. I love it. Let's just progress here. You'll notice my frame rate is still rough. That is because of the Tikis, and I will be doing work with those. There are LODs, but as soon as I enable or go like to... The way the graphics settings work in the game right now is they're all presets, and they change all of the LODs down. So you'll notice that now my frame rate is better, but trees in the background are going to look rough. And the highest one disables all LODs so you can get the best looking experience, and I really wanted to just show the beauty of this game, or what we have so far of it. Fodders walk their path, and they do blow up into little bits. And something different than the original is the bits do not despawn on a timer. Instead, they'll be despawning based on distance. So, if you want, you can kind of just play around with their bodies, kick them around, jump on them, stand on them, you know. They're there for just a little bit until you walk away, and then they're gone. It's so weird not seeing the Tikis look at me. So, you'll notice there's a lot more fodders here. Ignore the knockback distance. It's just because of testing, we wanted to put it to its extreme so we can make sure it was all working correctly. Yeah, there's a lot more fodders around this area because there's more terrain to progress through. I don't really know what wording I'm looking for, but it's there. This is a clam is an inside joke me and a few developers had. Well, it's just a temporary thing. We're going to be replacing this with the real text soon, and I'm standing in the clam because there's no collider on it, I guess. That's something to fix. So this model here for this bridge, completely custom made by one of our modelers. It is very beautiful, in my opinion. It's probably one of the best looking models in the game. And, I died. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful models in the game, in my opinion. That, and probably the Tiki model. It's just, they're so nice. This model, completely custom by our modeler, AwesomenessX. He'll probably say something in the comments, being like, hey, that's me. I just love it. I'm sorry. I can't help but just be amazed by it. The Tikis are placed differently. There's a lot more of them because we'll be able to support a lot more objects since this is new hardware that we're playing on. We're playing on, well, like 2 generations ahead of it, of this game's original debut. And more Tikis just kind of made sense to me. Plus, you have a lot more to break now and a lot more things to do than just walk around an empty landscape. You'll notice my mouse is still on the screen. Don't worry about that. I can fix that. Another thing I'm going to show. So this is broken now because of the new lighting system, but there is a classic mode, which makes the game look like it used to, use the original models and textures at some points. These Tiki stacks are broken, obviously, but original textures, original models for a lot of things, changes materials for SpongeBob to look more like the original game, but as I said, it is broken because of this new mode. It messes with the colors, but I will be fixing that. But the main reason of the mode is so that you can see what it used to look like and then compare it to the new version, which is probably one of my coolest things in a lot of remakes. If you've played like Halo's Comet Evolved Anniversary, or I think it's also in Master Chief Collection, but they have that same exact idea where you click a button and it changes the entire game back to the original version so that you can just see the difference. It's not done yet, though. There's a lot of issues with it, and it doesn't entirely show what it used to look like. You could play the whole game like that if you really wanted to. Let's just keep going, and I died again. Jesus. Alright, let's use some developer cheats to just speed my way through this. Let's do some game breaking right there. Developer cheats only work in classic mode right now. That's also a throwback to one of my older projects. He's probably fell off. So right now robots are not destroyed by like leaving the map yet, so he's just gonna, I'm just gonna go down there and kill him because there's no Hans yet, so I'm just able to completely break out of the game. Oof, bad frame rates right there. So there's gonna be no robots up here. That's the limit to where I've placed the robots throughout Tiki's as well. But you can just watch as SpongeBob walks through this beautiful, beautiful level. So we have a total of 3 level designers right now on our team here. And you're about to see, wow, that is the highest I've ever been launched by that. That's another bug. Our team of 3, really, they work well together. So this level was made by... What is happening? That's the cardboard box. I didn't even know that it was there. Someone must have programmed that in. I didn't even notice that. I just discovered something during a video. Wow. This level was made by a mixture of me and, well, Awesomeness X, the one who made the bridge. Usually what I have them do is they make the level, and then I do lots and lots of adjustments on it to make it work better for gameplay and to just look better and more polished in general. Let's keep going. So, when I get here to the end, you'll notice that the loading, there is no loading screen. It just kind of freezes. Music continues to play as it loads the next level. And right now there's a bug where it just loads the level like a bunch of times before it actually does. So this level takes place at like a more yellowy, sun is risen but it's not completely up and overhead yet. So there is no animations here yet, but the dialogue is all in.
Wow, Mermaid Man, I have all your comics and toys and mail.
Huh? What? Oh, yeah, it's that sponge kid. And now, what was I supposed to tell you?
Yeah, well, I think you understand. I don't need to progress with that. I don't need to keep going with that. Yeah, all of his text is in, all of his voice lines are, but there's no animations yet. I'm gonna have to ask. The same animator that made Squidward's animation is also working on the intro to Jellyfish Fields, so that's pretty neat. Switching to classic mode here also has that same lighting issue and coloring issue that was seen in JF01, so just ignore that. I'm going to be using that to speed down here real quick, because there is no sliding yet. It's not in, but JF02 looks like so. There's extra waterfalls and details placed around. There's some new areas just on the sides to add a little bit more space. Make it seem like there's more of an open feeling to the game, to where you can just explore. I'm gonna come up with a system that rewards the player for exploring too, because we put a lot of effort into this, and we would hate it if there's something in the game that somebody put a lot of effort into and it's never actually seen or experienced. This next part is one of my favorites, so I've been working on this for quite a while now. The idea, the assets, it's all been coming together slowly. This is the Nightmare Caves. This takes place, let me think about how to word this. So there's this sign in the game that isn't there, but was in my old project, that says that if you experience hallucinations, it's caused by this certain rock, and that is what, and if you see anything, just, it was a funny sign. It was just a funny thing, but ended up turning it into a very, very, very cool experience. So I'm going to walk in here, and this is completely optional. You do not have to go through this level at all. There is a normal counterpart that is just a remake of the original, with new colors and textures and everything. But ignore the lighting issues on the walls. That is being fixed. But you might have seen my video where I bring this up and I show it off. This area isn't done yet, but it is a fairly amazing looking area. And it's kind of crazy, the transition from Jellyfish Fields to Nightmare Caves. And it's not even done yet. I'm going to have to stop before I get to the end of the cave, because there's nothing past that point. And it does have a classic mode, and it does use classic-like effects and lights. Let me go back a bit. The lights do use a classic style, and they do look like they are running on a PlayStation 2. This area has been adapted for new graphics as well, or for classic mode as well. But once I get beyond this, like ghost-looking area here, this is it. This area isn't done. This is incomplete. So now we're going to go to JF03, which is taking place at around noon. Alright, and while this is transitioning, I'm going to talk about what this project really is. So this is a reimagined remake of BFBB, meaning we will be replacing and changing things, but it will still feel like the original game. It's not going to feel like a new game or like a sequel, but there will be new content, and some of the old content will be changed. Now, background stuff is very, very bad. Needs to be replaced, but we need those assets still, so I can't do so yet. Anyways, I will play through this. You'll see Tartars, and I will just say right now, they are not done because we don't have their animations. I'll have to rip the rest of them and see if I can put them and see if they'll work in Unity. Probably make some adjustments too, because the ripping that we have right now for animations in the original game does have some limits and does have some problems. As I approach this guy here, he'll start, you know, shooting at me, but his aim is really bad because he only plays his idle animation. You'll see he explodes into glass and bits of robot that you can just kind of stand on and walk around. They don't despawn just like fodders until you get to a certain distance. This level is probably the most incomplete, actually. It is kind of done, but there's a lot of issues with it. It does have it's the most bug-filled level in the game. Like right here, there's just an invisible wall for no reason. I think there's supposed to be a tree there, but there's not. But yeah, this is probably the most broken level out of them all, as it doesn't have much polish put in. The level itself is complete with its details, but it hasn't been gone through, tested, and patched up. That was weird. Also, its graphics are a little bit bright, but I think I'm going to keep them this way, because there are some people that really like this graphic style, and okay, alright. This does not have a classic mode adaptation yet, so in classic mode, it's going to look identical to default right now. I haven't worked on adding any new things in yet. Soon though, trust me. So another issue is that Tartars will see you from above and will continuously shoot at you for the entirety of their existence until you break them. So you'll be hearing that sound right there, that Tartar sound, until I kill that Tartar that's doing that. Oh, he almost hit me. So right now, sneaking is handled in a very strange way. So, on a computer, you can't just have it where shift is sneak, because it's too easy. And the whole point of making it where you have to hold the analog stick slightly on a controller is to make it hard to hold that sneaking. It would be easy to play games if you could sneak with a button press. That sucks. Why did that have to happen? Anyways, you can just... So, right now, sneaking is handled like this. If you look straight up, you sneak. And if you look slightly up there, you go a little bit faster, and then from, like, here to here, it's all the same speed. It's also just really annoying because if you're trying to look down at a platform you're jumping on, you slow down. So, I do gotta work with that. I'm gonna come up with some system, but I haven't really figured it out yet. On to the next thing. I would show JF Dreams, which is a custom-made level by us, but it is not complete yet. It is very, very unpolished and very broken, so I don't think that's a good idea. Discord server. Join it. It's really fucking awesome. I will put a link in the description for it. We already have... Well, let's see how many members we have in here. 415. So if you're not in, you should join because my entire team is here. We will answer any of your questions. We'll also, you know, if you have any ideas for the game, we'll listen to them. But this is not a community-sourced project. We have a team. We have a team of developers, animators, texture artists. We will not just accept anybody's ideas or art or models. They have to be up to our standards, and frankly, if it's a stupid idea, we probably won't add it. Just gonna show off the server a little bit here, because last time I made one of these was probably about a year ago, so I might as well show this off again. We have the general channel, which is where you just talk about general SpongeBob stuff or stuff related to this project. News reactions. So in the news channel, I will send screenshots, talk about video releases or little things that are being changed or updated, and, you know, sometimes memes. It's very rare, though. It's usually very serious stuff, and this is where I will talk about, right now, in this video, I will talk about temporary multiplayer tests. If you are in the server, you are eligible to play tests of the game that are only active for a certain period of time. So there will be about 3 hours where you will be able to play the current version of the game in one multiplayer server with everybody else. You'll be able to see people all around you from everyone in the Discord server. It's really cool. It is really cool. All right. News reactions is just talking about whatever is the latest thing in news. Other SpongeBob games. This is where you'll talk about if you're making a SpongeBob game or if you're talking about another SpongeBob game besides BFBB. Off topic, just for things that aren't really related to... Well, this is used for two things. You can talk about BFBB in here. This channel was originally for if you want to have a different... talk about something different than what's being talked about in general. So you talk about it in off topic, but then it kind of evolved into stuff that's not related to BFBB, and that's really all anybody talks about in here anymore. Bugs. If you're playing the game, this is where you report bugs. There's nothing here yet because no versions have been released. We've only done a few multiplayer tests, and those aren't bug test builds. Community is where you post your own stuff. This is where you talk about a project you're making, but we still do not accept Discord invites. None of that. Advertising is strictly prohibited on the server, but we do allow you to post your work in here, your artwork, your music, stuff like that, just so people can, react to it. Or you can kind of advertise, but you can't post any direct links to things. If you post your music, that's fine. People will like your music, they'll look for you. That means they are truly interested in your stuff. Don't just post a server link so people are like, oh, there's a link, let's click on it. You will probably get kicked if you do that, or warnings. Memes, just, random memes you'd like to post, unmoderated. Think I'm gonna remove this. People don't seem to like it, and the only people that post in there are weirdos, and it is disgusting in there. All of this is gone. No one can see that. That's just me. That's pretty much it for this server. You can sign up for alerts so that you get alerted when I talk in news, and there's an Introduce Yourself channel for talking about what you like to do. But that's pretty much it. There's also the Slice server, which you can join from here. This is where you get more direct talk about development, about what's strictly being programmed at that time. Various bugs that we are fixing. It's like a constant devlog where you can see exactly what's happening. Or if you want to help contribute, just kind of send anything you want in here. If it's good enough, we'll use it. This right here, this person here, they are our main artists. Not all of our art, but most of our icons, most of our icons in the game are made by Panda.